Red button underneath, Bridget. Red button.
I thought it was level 2.
It's hello. Hello, hello. Welcome, and please remain standing while Elizabeth Benegas sings the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave
but our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Pretty awesome, huh? All right. Well, good afternoon. I'm Bridget McVeigh, and I am profoundly grateful to be standing up here speaking as a principal at Open Doors. I want to start by thanking our superintendent, Dr. Josh Middleton, his cabinet, and the Granite Falls School Board for continuing to allow us to have a 14-18 re-engagement program in our district. Next, I want to thank the staff of Open Doors who are so dedicated and diligent. And lastly, all of you who helped them get to this day. So we know the journey hasn't been easy. So woohoo, give yourselves all a round of applause. All right. So this group of students has been through a lot. Many of them were already going through a lot when COVID hit, but despite the obstacles, they managed to make school a priority and complete their education. So when you think about these groups that are graduating, the 2022 graduates, you can't help but think of the word perseverance. They've learned how to work hard, how to sacrifice, how to stay focused on a goal, to never give up on their dream of a high school diploma. And these characteristics of perseverance are going to serve them well throughout their lives. So graduation speeches attempt to motivate students for success, but I measure success a little differently than most people. So when students first meet with an Open Doors case manager, they meet with Dee or Liz or now Brooke, they're typically feeling pretty defeated. They've been through lots of different educational programs, or they're going through something difficult in their life and they come wearing a mask. Sometimes it's a mask with lots of layers. Sometimes it's an entire body armor. But somehow through their time at Open Doors, and some of them Open Doors and Crossroads, some of them, I know one of them sitting out there has been in Granite Falls School District since kindergarten. So that's pretty amazing, probably more than one. But anyways, so they have their suit of armor, but they shed that suit of armor. They start to shed it and they allow the staff to see their soul. And I believe that it's because of all the love that exists in that room. So if you drill everything down, everything you know, everything you will ever know to one thing, it would be love, right? There's no other part of being human that's more important. It can be confusing. It's a noun, or is it a verb? It's an action word, right? So it could be. It's redemptive, and it can also get you into big trouble, girls. I love to ski. I love my grandkids. I've been in love before, and I love all of you, but none of those are the same kind of love. So your life is going to give you everything you need to understand love. Believe me, it will. And some of it will be known as a blessing, and some of it you'll be known as a lesson, right? Some of that love stuff. When you're young and you're in love, you feel it from the bottom of your toes. If you end up having a child, the love completely overwhelms you. Through committed spiritual practice, you experience love at a whole nother level. In times of suffering, when you find love to be the most important and the most authentic. One day, someone you care about will get sick and you'll care for them. And then you will really know love. When you unfairly lose a family member or a friend, love will well up inside you. Someday, your community will experience a tragic or loss, and you'll be there for others who are suffering because of your love. And when you feel the most alone, you'll rely only on self-love to guide you through the darkness. My challenge to you is that in self-love, you really get to know who you are. Remember the iceberg? Anybody who's Crossroads? Remember the iceberg and what's underneath that, right? Living below the waterline. Find out what lights your soul on fire. And when you get to a point where life feels too hard, knowing that knowing what truly makes you feel love will sustain you. Ask yourself, what makes you the best version of you? When you figure it out, go after it like nothing else matters. You all have amazing things to offer this world. Graduates, you're no longer going to get relentless text messages from Dee. I don't think anyway. You're not going to hear Poland or Panegas or Roten's voices when you walk in the door, nagging at you or encouraging you. But walk away knowing you have people who love you, who care about you, and will always be in your corner. I want you to be successful in all other areas of life too, of course. When I graduated from Granite Falls High School 30-something years ago, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I hopped on a plane, tried to follow a boy to Tennessee. I planned to get married and have babies. And then I kept hearing two teachers' voices in my head saying, you need to go to college. You need to go to college. And finally, I listened to those voices and went to college. And here I am, right here, your principal. So basically, they told me that I was smart and that I could do it, and they believed in me. So go live the life of your dreams, do yoga, go backpack across Europe, start a career, start a business, start a family. But when you're out living the lives of your dreams, remember where you came from, the good, the bad, the ugly, and always remember to love big. And now your student speaker, Miss Eden Leonard.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eden. I'm so happy to be here today and a wee bit shocked, celebrating with all of you. I want to start by thanking my fellow graduates. I know that our road to graduation has looked a lot different from some other graduates, but I'm very proud of each and every one of you because I know that you worked extremely hard to get here. Ooh. My journey to Open Doors wasn't exactly easy. Before entering Open Doors, school was a place that gave me anxiety, and at times I felt invisible. I've been to multiple schools during my high school career, so I feel like my perspective on the school system in general is broader than your average student. I have been to schools that pronounced socioeconomic privilege and undertones that were not very welcoming to anyone who did not fit into the mold. I have been to schools where students were treated as a number. Teachers overloaded with class size and receiving minimal support, in turn causing a disconnect that made some students feel like their only worth and value was held in their academic performance. I have been in schools where culture demands silence despite the need for advocacy and system changes. And I am here to tell you that Open Doors is nothing like those schools, period. By the time I arrived at Open Doors, I felt so battered and bruised emotionally that I believed I was someone who would not graduate, and I really expected that I would eventually drop out. I did. The first change I noticed right away was the Open Doors staff and school culture. It was different from any school I had attended before. My concerns were heard. There were things I wanted to advocate for, and Open Doors made me feel supported, and my feelings of fear and insecurity disappeared. In Open Doors, I was no longer invisible. Arriving at school was always a safe place. Instead of someone asking me what I could do for them or what I'm working on, they instead would always say, "We're so glad you are here. How are you doing?" That helped me so much to know that the teachers truly cared. In Open Doors, they're collaborative and they think outside the box. They made sure to include my life's happenings to build my foundation for success. Some of my favorite things about academics and Open Doors is the individualization support and how they incorporate my health. The whole person into the journey. Open Doors isn't just a school. It's a community, it's a family, and it's a safe place to land. Thank you, Open Doors teachers. Thank you, Dee, for always being there, meeting where I am at, and never making me feel guilty for moments of weakness or fear. Today, I'm a person who's graduating and didn't think I would be, and a person who understands that I am vulnerable and can be successful even in the face of great challenges. Thank you. I would like to welcome to the stage our staff member, Dee.
And I would like to invite Kara up to the stage. So I'm going to speak about Kara and Eden at the same time because you never see them apart. So I think you've all heard of the Japanese proverb, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That's nothing compared to the amount of time something or someone tried to knock these 2 down, and yet they keep rising. When I think about their journey, words that come to mind are perseverance, strength, tenacity, endurance, determination, strong will, generosity, helpful, pride, and hard work. And yes, I know those are a lot of words because their journey has been quite long. I have had the privilege of seeing their lives from another perspective, not just academic, but from the personal side also. So I get to witness their loyalty, their devotion to family and friends, their responsible and ambitious side, as well as their humor and their soft hearts. I have the luxury of seeing them making huge strides in their real life, which is why I love my job so much, being able to see the whole person outside of just assignments, credits, and tests. These 2 humans have become part of my family. We have spent hours outside of their house, laughing, crying, Zooming, which usually brought on more crying, cuddling kittens and petting puppies, yes, to keep from crying, celebrating birthdays, COVID restrictions being lifted, and many accomplishments in between. As most all of our students, the path that led them to Open Doors wasn't a glamorous one, but it has helped to shape their character and build their strength. I am honored to have spent the last few years with Eden and Kara, late nights, early mornings, lots of coffees and Red Bulls. I have listened to Eden tell me she will be dropping out. No online school, no effing Zooms, done. Summer school started last year at 8 a.m. At 8:05, my phone started blowing up. Kara was texting me. Oh, Dee, I didn't sign up for this, I'm out. Here we are. Eden graduating with over 25 credits and our speaker for graduation. Kara survived summer school with crafts and didn't want to graduate this year so she could attend it again. I have no doubts that these 2 will be successful in every part of their lives. They are not survivors, they are thrivers. They will always rise up, and I will always be right there cheering them on. Thank you. And I would like to have Mackenzie come up, please. The natural state of motherhood is unselfishness. When you become a mother, you are no longer the center of your own universe. You relinquish that position to your children. That's a quote from Jessica Lange. And people seem to think that means moms can't do anything for themselves or it's selfish. But in truth, it's just like on an airplane. They remind you to save yourself in order to save your children. I can't imagine making it through my high school years as a mom. I mean, my egg baby did not survive. I barely made it to school halfway through second period each day, and my diet consisted of McDonald's nuggets with hot mustard sauce. There is 0% chance I could have raised a little human and myself. When I met Mackenzie, she was in a pretty good position to graduate. She had already put in most of the hard work and had a good amount of credits. She was working full time, taking care of her baby girl and ready to get this done. She wanted her diploma. As life does, it kept trying to throw wrenches in her plans, health issues, work schedules, finances, all of it on her shoulders. There were days she was clearly ready to throw in the towel. That sweet baby girl, Cleo, is what kept her going. Her drive to be a great mom, giving her daughter a good future by taking care of herself and finishing what she started. I have so much admiration for Mackenzie, her tenacity, her fight, her ability to push herself to get out of bed on the days that would have been much easier just to stay in it. Mackenzie was clearly meant to rise. I know she will be an amazing role model for her daughter because she already is, setting in place what it takes to be a strong woman, a hard worker, and a finisher. A million quotes come to mind, but the one that speaks to me about Mackenzie as a student and a mother is from Margaret Thatcher. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. She will definitely be getting things done. Thank you, Mackenzie. And now for Miss Elizabeth Panegas.
Gage, come on up here. I won't forget the words to this one because I have a paper. The first time I met Gage, it was during a class called Bridges at Crossroads High School. And Gage was always quiet and polite, and he had the best hair. Gage is well liked by his peers and also a person who appreciates his privacy. And he's not one to disclose personal details of his life very often, which is kind of a little rare around this place. I learned more about Gage when he joined the climbing club, and we would head to the climbing gym during the week. I must say, Gage was an incredible top rope climber, but even better at bouldering. You were. If you have ever been climbing, you would know that there are many routes and ways to summit. No mountain is the same, and you are always having to shift and learn new ways to solve a problem or to conquer an extra challenging route. Gage was a rock star at finding the answer to difficult climbing routes, and he had the strength to pull off some really scary climbs without falling. And he's the same in life. He's a young man who thinks very carefully before jumping for a near impossible hold, but always grabs on just fine and always manages to climb to the top. I know his journey to graduation has not been easy and sometimes pretty scary when life seemingly pushed him off track. Gage is a caretaker and a champion for others, and I know that he will be successful in all of his pursuits because he never gives up. Gage, I value your integrity, kindness, peaceful nature, and persistent determination. Please remember that you will always have a home at Open Doors, and we will always be here to cheer you on. And I'm so proud of your accomplishments and blessed to be a small part of your life's journey. You have done a phenomenal job working for this moment, and you deserve to be celebrated. Congratulations. Now we will hear from Mr. Jesse Nelson.
All right, Tori. Where did the wind come from? All right. So Tori started in this building the same time that I did, and I had the pleasure of growing as a teacher alongside Tori, who was growing as a student and a person. Part of your growth as a teacher is learning not to yell at the kids, even when you really, really want to. Tori somehow knew when I wanted to and would take the opportunity to yell for me. Nothing gets a bunch of kids to quiet down faster than another student yelling at them loudly. Tori, I know that you'll take that initiative and that empathy and excel at whatever your next steps might be. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Robin Barth.
The three gentlemen, oh gosh, I don't think I need a mic. The three gentlemen that I'm going to call to the stage in a moment, I had the pleasure, absolute joyous pleasure, of having them in middle school. As they come up, those of you that know them, remember who they were, how they were, what they were in middle school, and put that in your pocket, because those memories are what's flooding around in my brain right now, but I'm going to be school and socially appropriate when I speak of them. CJ, come on up. CJ, for years, I have enjoyed your humor and your heart. You have a heart as big as you are tall, and you share it with people in lots of silly ways, but in good ways too. You work hard, you take care of the people that love you and that you love, and that's pretty darn honorable. I've enjoyed hearing your fish stories, your Alaska stories. Mr. Barth wanted me to tell you that he's super proud of you for sticking with it and finishing. There are so many people that have been by your side, cheering you on from the sidelines for all of these years, the good ones, the difficult ones. Many of them are out there right now. Be proud, because you're done and you earned yourself a high school diploma. Hell yeah. D. Fred. Oh yeah. Oh, look at you. Look at those people. I have no idea how many times you have walked through those doors, trying to hand us your Chromebook, trying to hand us your stuff, telling us you were done. I wish I could count that high, but I teach PE. But your bullheadedness, your determination, and your hard work made you be done, but completely. You pushed through, you got everything done you needed to take care of. Now you got lots of time to work on your cars, but you have that special piece of paper that'll get you so far in this world. You get to keep that in your pocket and you get to use it in your future. These people and these stood by you in the background, cheering the whole time for you. Even when you were cussing at us and we were cussing back, we were cheering for you. Be proud of yourself. You did it. You earned yourself a high school diploma. Love you.
Thank you.
And Kyle. Look, your mom got behind scenes.
Yeah, she's taking pictures like you can see too.
I know.
It's crazy. She'll have plenty of good ones.
Yeah, she will. Yeah, she will. Kyle, I don't know where to start. I have known you for a very long time.
At least my entire school.
Pretty much, yeah, but plus preschool.
Yeah.
Plus preschool, yeah.
Entire school.
Yeah. You are brilliant and you are witty and you have a great heart that you don't always show people, but I know it's in there.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
that.
do. Your ability to push through this last part of the school year is a true testament to where we need to change some things in education. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, you're brilliant. And you finished based on your mind and your ability to push through and hard in the finish line. I'm proud of you. Now you have lots of time to help your dad on the property. Lucky you. Yeah. There's a lot of people that have stood by your side or in the backgrounds cheering you on. See them right there in the 50-yard line tickets. Be proud. You did this. You earned yourself a high school diploma. Nice. Miss Laurie Roten.
I almost had to fight you for that last one.
I know.
Okay, Julianne Gross, come on down. Love those heels. Okay, it has been said that the best view at the top of a mountain comes from the hardest climb. I have seen Julianne face pitches and slopes that took my breath away. Each and every challenge has been met with unparalleled grace and dignity. And even though not every challenge was met with complete success, it only made her that much more determined the next go round. The other thing that has really impressed me about this beautiful young lady is her dedication to quality. She is not a just check the box and move on kind of girl. If her name is on it, you can bet it's a quality product. I'm very proud of Julianne, proud of her ascension, proud of her tenacity, and very proud to see her smile from this peak. Enjoy the view, sweetheart, and good luck to you and all the future mountains out there. And now, Miss Julie Stark.
So I have the honor of talking about two students today who were in my Check and Connect at Crossroads. And I kind of have this 7-year tradition of reading poems or writing poems to my Crossroads students. So even though these students are Open Doors students, I wrote poems. So Victoria, come on up. So I started out, yay, so here we are, so I wouldn't cry. Okay. This is a monumental milestone. It's symbolic of just how much you've overcome and grown. Looking back feels like so long ago. We butt heads, we made peace, and we got in a flow. Puzzles and papers with highlights to show your perseverance totally incredible. You're strong and stubborn in the very best way, just what was needed to get here today. You're creative and capable and so tried and true. These are a couple of reasons I so admire you. And I'm totally proud of you, Victoria. Congratulations. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's like so exciting when this happens. I don't know if I'm nervous. I'm just like so happy. Aragorn, come on up. So yes, I wrote you a poem too. I have to say one thing about Aragorn. I've known Aragorn a really, really long time. Yeah, like since he was little. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to start that way. I think we've known each other over 10 years. Today, it's incredible to be standing here. Way back when you were 8, it was water parks and talks of space. You solved world problems with a knowing look on your face. You're brilliantly smart and so easygoing, a deep out-of-the-box thinker, a mind always growing. Seeker of truth, living in your very own way. To thine self be true, simply a gateway. On to bigger and better, more beautiful things. I'm excited to see what your life brings. You, Aragorn, have a beautiful mind. And I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. And I will be handing the mic back over to Miss Bridget McVeigh.
Okay. Dr. Josh Middleton, Superintendent of Granite Falls School District. I attest that this class has completed all of the Washington State and Granite Falls School District graduation requirements. The class of 2022 is ready to receive their diplomas.
So before we have you come up on stage, let's just take a few minutes, and I just want to pass on a few words of wisdom passed down to me from my father. I've been thinking about my father quite a bit lately. I think a lot of it has to do with the times we're in. He's been gone for a number of years. In fact, my siblings and I were all adults and had our own kids at the time of his passing. But I think he's on my mind because of the state of the world and just how divided it is. But it's in the guidance that he instilled in me that I'm drawing on now. I just want to share a few words from him. My brother, sisters, and I all heard these bits of wisdom starting at a very young age. The first point was, be a leader and be a leader of character. Second, be polite to others and help others. And number 3, give 110%. Now, my father was a Marine Corps officer for most of his career. It wasn't always the easiest environment to live in. He wanted us, but he did want us to find a life that was fulfilling. And he used the day-to-day events in our lives as children under his roof to shape that character. As a kid, I recall playing baseball and striking out at one of our games. I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, and we had access. We didn't have access to 200 channels like a lot of people do, or streaming or things like that, but we had 3 channels, 1 out of Philadelphia and 2 out of New York. I watched a lot of baseball. What was out of character for me, because I did something that modeled that I saw on television by a baseball player. I struck out, I took my bat over my head and slammed it on home plate. After the game, later at night at home, I recall being summoned to my father's room. I don't recall ever being yelled at by my father because all it took was that look of disappointment, shaking his head and giving us his Clint Eastwood squint, followed by a series of rhetorical questions. I know you might not know who Clint Eastwood is. Ask your parents and grandparents and they'll show you some good squinting movies. So the rhetorical questions would be, slamming your bat down. Was that being a team leader for your baseball team? No, I didn't get a chance to answer. He was answering these questions himself. Were you polite? No, you showed up the ump. Did you give 110%? No, it looks like you need extra batting practice. And final words were, don't ever embarrass yourself or your family that way again. Yes, sir, was all that I could summon before being literally dismissed. I had many such lessons, we all did growing up, but more importantly, he provided a life compass for me as I entered adulthood. And this compass hasn't really let me down. So you're entering a difficult world, and I want to congratulate you because you've already faced a lot of challenges and you've persevered. But you're entering a world that's as divided as I've ever seen in my lifetime. So number 1, be a leader and a leader of character. We need this more now than ever. Be polite to others and help others. Let me tell you, and you know this, everyone is going through their own trials and tribulations in life. Take the high road, be civil, be polite, lend a hand, because one day someone will return that favor to you. And give 110%. My father, whatever our interests were, we were to give it our all. Don't give a half-hearted effort at work, at studies, and most importantly, in your relationships. Give it 110%. This simple compass has served me well. I appreciate you listening to one more piece of advice as you leave school and move on to the next chapter in your lives. Mr. Board Chair, members of the Granite Falls School District, and members of our community, as superintendent of schools, at this time, I declare these students have met all the requirements set forth by the state of Washington and by the Board of Education to be awarded their diplomas. Class of 2022, congratulations on this achievement. I wish you the absolute best in your lives.
Kara Anderson. CJ Conrad. Mackenzie Ellis. Dylan Fredrickson. Julianne Gross. Gage Cruson. Victoria Lentz. Eden Leonard. Kyle McAnulty. Aragorn Smith. Tori Zerker.
Okay, graduates, I want you to move to the center of the stage. Turn your tassels from the left to the right. You are the first graduating class of 2022 from Granite Falls School District. Throw those hats up in the air. Woo!